Okay, hello and welcome to another video. In this video I will be showing you how to set up PS Vita-Laucher to play games, PSP and PSX or Adrenaline games from the FTP server. So in my previous video I have already showed you how to set up an FTP server and how to configure Vita-Launcher with the FTP settings. So this is just a follow-up with this new edition. Alright, so the first thing, as the instruction says, we need to, on our FTP server, we will have to create a folder. You can name this folder anything, PSP emu or anything that you want. But under that subfolder, you have to create two subfolders. One's called an ISO folder and another one called PSP, and then under that PSP folder create a game folder. So this folder structure is exactly as how the PSMU folder exists on the Vita for the UX0. So it's very similar in the structure. So ISOs and CSOs we put into the ISO folder, and the eboots we put into the PSP game folder. Right, so we'll just start up with that stamp. I'm going to, so I have a ROMs folder, I have my other games in there. I am going to create a folder called PSPMU. Within PSPMU, I will be creating an ISO folder and a PSP folder, and within the PSP folder we'll have to create the game folder. Alright, so with that created, I have, alright, so previously I have some of my ISOs or CSOs that I had for that I use for testing. So I'll copy those into the ISO folder. In my eboots, I'll copy those and put them under the PSP game folder. Okay, right, so with that folder structure created and the ISOs and files are copied in there, so the next step is we need to download the extract eboot ISO Windows exe that you can download, get from my release page here. If you're on Linux, get the extract eboot ISO Linux. If you're on Windows, then get the Windows exe. So I'm on Windows, I'm going to download that. And I'll just copy, I'll copy that and move that into my PSP emu folder. I copied it here just for convenience. So with that downloaded, we we have to open the command line, and since I'm on the G drive, switch over to the G drive, and in the ROMs, PSPMU. Right. So you would call this extract exe and give the ISO path here. ISO. Right. So what this does, it will go into all the CSOs and extract two of the files that's required by Vita-Launcher. It will extract the SFO and the icon PNG file from the ISO or CSO files. And for the eboots, we're gonna have to run the PSP folder here, and that will go through every eboot PBP and extract the parameter SFO and icon PNG. Alright, so these files are necessary or required to be extracted. Otherwise, the Vita-Launcher will not be able to scan for those games. Right, so with that created, now we're ready to switch over to the Vita and set up Vita-Launcher. Okay, just before we switch over to the Vita-Launcher, I'll just go to my FTP client. So just to double check my so this is the IP of my FTP server, and once I've logged in, there's the ROMs folder. Under that I have the PSP EMU, right? So, and then you see here there's the ISO and the PSP folder. So this is the path of my ROMs from the FTP server. So just we'll just take note of this folder path, and we'll need this when we set up the Vita-Launcher. Okay, I'm just going to switch over to the Vita-Launcher now. Okay, now that we've switched over to Vita-Launcher, we'll start it up, and just go to global FTP. So that's my IP address, the default port, the username is, well, I called mine demo. You can, and password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay. All right, now that we've set that up, the configuration for the FTP, and now go to global settings and browse over to this alternate PSP EMU path. So edit this path, and we will point this to our FTP server. So how to do that? We'll have to just use FTP 0. Oh, I already have that. So FTP 0, and then followed by, okay, oops. That was, if you remember from my FTP server, it was under the ROMs, and slash, so it was under ROMs / PSP EMU. All right. Okay, with that saved, and now, okay, we are in the PSX category. We'll go to the actions and go rescan games in the PSP category. So this will start scanning for games on the FTP server. Okay, so this is scanned, and as you can see here, these are the games that are on the FTP server. You see that red bar next to these? That means those games are not on the cache. And likewise, I'll go to PSX and just rescan games in the PSX category. Alright, so you see that it found my PS1 games, and it also found some of my minis. Okay, and yeah, and just demo that. So the first time you run like ROMs, the first time you run it, it's going to go to the FTP server and download it to the cache. Right, and then you can launch the game. I'll use a drill line to launch it. Alright, thanks again for watching this video. I hope you enjoy this new feature. Thanks.